We are back inside the Donald E. Stephens Convention Center in Rosemont, Illinois.
So many great players, so many
So,
great
of the
coaches.
2025 Big Ten Women's Basketball Media Day Special.
First year in the Big Ten for Oregon. The Ducks won 20 games. They got back to the NCAA tournament, had that dramatic overtime win over Vanderbilt.
Made first NCAA tournament appearance since 2022. Oh, that's nice.
Kelly Graves, a new look team. His top 4 scorers are gone, but some very
They won 20 games. Jay, wow. And he had 3 transfers. Lose top 4 scorers from last season. Wow, yeah. And let's welcome to our head coach for Oregon Ducks women's basketball team. His name is Kelly Graves. As our head coach.
You guys had won 9 more games than you did
Kelly Graves
in the Pac-12 overall. Yeah,
it's gonna be more fun than ever.
Well, personally, I really enjoyed it because I hadn't been to a lot of places. I'd never been to State College. I'd never coached at Chrysler Arena. I'd never been to the Barn in Minnesota, and so that was kind of fun. When you've been doing it as long as I have, this is 38 years of coaching. You've kind of seen everything, and so I saw some new stuff. I was actually surprised a little bit at the style of play. I think the Pac-12 was obviously a very good conference. We had great teams, but it was a little more traditional in how teams played. And I got to the Big Ten, and a lot of teams played that spread offense, 4 guards. And so we weren't necessarily built for that kind of a game. And so we've adjusted our recruiting a little bit to kind of match that. But it was a good first year. We played well on the road, went 4-4. We split every road trip. I did learn that it's cold in a lot of places in the conference. I wasn't used to that. But all in all, I think it was a good beginning for us, and now hopefully we can build on that.
Well, you guys were incredible last season in close games, and the streak was games decided by 5 or less. You had the best record in the Big Ten, and they always say that's a sign of good coaching, Kelly. So you tell me, what? Honestly, though, you had veterans. You had the ability to close in tight games. Why?
You just said it. We had veteran guards: Deja Kelly, Peyton Scott, and Ani Falatea. You can say coaching, but hello, I didn't score a single basket or get a single rebound, so it had nothing to do with me. I've always felt players win close games, and that's where we're going to be a little bit different this year. We're not going to have that senior-laden guard line. Yeah, we have some seniors, we have some experienced players, but we're going to really rely on young guards. But hopefully we keep that same formula and have that same kind of success in close games. Because in great conferences like the Big Ten, and the Big Ten is the best conference in my opinion in the country, you're going to play a lot of close games. So we're going to have those opportunities.
Well, one of the players you have coming in that has experience winning is Estera Tahino from Washington State. Was part of the Pac-12 tournament championship a couple of seasons ago, and she joins the Ducks Northwest product coming out of Washington State. What have you seen for her? She's a leader as the point guard spot. How has she acquiesced to your team?
Oh, I think she's great. She's been a godsend for us in a lot of ways. Very solid at the point, makes good decisions. We're trying to play faster this year, so I'm trying to speed her up a little bit. But I think that's going to be one of our strengths this year. We've got AT at the point. We've got Elisa Medias returning, and then Katie Fiso. So we have 3 really good players that can be those lead guards for us. So. And like I said, we're trying to play fast, and with that, you need a veteran like Estera to calm things down.
I want to ask about Mia Jacobs.
And then also after UCLA, at 3 p.m. we'll have USC Trojans.
And depth at the 4 position.
So up next after this, we have Washington and UCLA.
I call her Larry Bird because she just
at 2:45 p.m. and then of course at 3 p.m. also we have USC Trojans.
She can score at every level, draws a lot of fouls, and is really good on the boards. And so we're going to rely on her a lot. And but like you said, she's done it. She's experienced. She's ready for a bigger challenge, and the Big Ten's certainly going to be that. But I'm a blessed coach knowing that she's on my roster and not the others.
Well, it's funny you mentioned a player that can do everything. I'm watching Satu Sabali just rip it up in the WNBA this year, and she's playing in the finals with Phoenix. You mentioned at the time when she was a member of the Oregon Ducks that she was a unicorn, and I remember you telling me she may be better than Sabrina Ionescu someday. She just might be. She's had an incredible postseason. But for you, you've got so many Ducks out there that are, obviously Sabrina, as I mentioned. for you, the pride that you see when Satu's in the WNBA finals, what does that mean to you?
Well, it's amazing. We're really rooting for her to win a championship. You know, her sister Niara got one last year with the Liberty. Ruthie Ebert got one with the Chicago Sky, and Sabrina got one with the Liberty too. So now it's her turn. That's pretty neat to see. And as a coach, you know, that's one of the things that, you know, you take pride in, and it sometimes gets me emotional. I went to Paris last year, and 8 of my former players were playing in the Olympics. And, one of our jobs as a coach is to help our players fulfill their dreams, whatever that dream might be. And I know everybody wants to be an Olympian. Everybody wants to be a WNBA champion. So I'm just a conduit to help them to that end. And so it makes me feel real good.
Yeah, I see you pulling up. You got the matchup with Courtney Vandersloot and Sabrina. There's Kelly front row. They get you tickets.
When you got 3 or 4 players on the court, they tend to
courtside.
take care of you down there.
You see that emotion, Coach, and I think that's so real because it is about the people, right? And that's why you do it. And you've been doing it, you mentioned 38 years. This game has changed so much. You've coached in so many different situations, so many different programs and leagues. What is something that you have changed recently about the way that you approach? Because I think the best players or the best coaches do evolve. What's something that you can point to that's different?
Well, I've always been I drive players. There's no question about it. And I think as I've gotten a little older, I'm maybe doing that in a different way. I have a better grasp of the bigger picture. And I wish, we always want to talk to our 20 or 25-year-old selves, right? And I think I've changed in that regard. I take each day and just feel blessed that I have another day to do what I do. Not to get all sappy here. I apologize.
Do it. I'm in. I got
this
some
is a
Kleenex
hoop
over
show.
here.
But I think as a coach, you gain better perspective. And I was one. I'm an old school coach still, but I was one of those that was a little slow to embrace the new way of doing things. The NIL, the portal, and things like that. And I think we have adjusted. It took us a year or two, but we've turned it, and I think now we've got the program back to be, a nationally relevant, and I'm excited about that because that's where Oregon athletics should be, and certainly Oregon basketball.
Well, and you won 20 games last year. You made it back to the NCAA tournament. You advanced the round of 32, and for this year's team, there's a lot of new faces. As you mentioned, the veteran guards you don't have. You mentioned you wanted to run it. You want to go up tempo. What tell us about this Oregon squad and what you think the strengths will be.
Well, you guys have known me for a long time, and I'm an offensive coach, and I've had a couple different programs lead the nation in scoring. I want to get back to that style of play and make offense, the focal point of our program. And I think we've got. It starts with good guard play, and I already mentioned a few guards, but we have great scoring guards. One of whom's here, Sophia Bell, Ari Long. Avery Kane, the transfer in from UCLA. We have 2 talented freshmen. And then we have mobile post players. Amina Muhammad, who sometimes people forget, she started for us last year and had a really nice, solid year. We're asking a lot of her. Mia Jacobs, very versatile player. Sarah Rambis has made that next jump, which is important. Ahis Tute and Philippa Tilliander give us, a physical presence inside. And so I think we've got the necessary ingredients. Now, as a coach, I'm trying to, be that chef, right? That chef to put it all together. And I think, we'll see, what happens in the end. But I'm excited every day to go to practice because I really like this group.
I love that.
Wink, wink. I'm going to downplay it a little.
Yeah, that's good.
Got a lot of work to do. But I think we've got a chance to be pretty good.
Coach, always great to catch up with you. By the way, I'm here for all the emotions, so anytime you just need a good cry, you come on over, all right?
He's Oprah over here. Get you.
Kelly.
Sometimes as an old guy, not that I'm that old.
No.
You do. You get emotional a little bit more, and you see these student athletes as kind of your kids in some way.
Absolutely.
And, so like I said, I'm really blessed.
Well, we are blessed to be able to catch up with you and looking forward to watching your squad this year. Thank you for
you guys. Thanks for what you're doing. Seriously, this is a long day. You guys are real.
So these are Noble games.
Real
Washington State on the 19th of November. Auburn on the 30th of November. Oregon State December 3rd. UCLA on the 7th of December. 21st against Stanford. Michigan 29th. USC January the 6th. Iowa 15th January. 31st January Maryland. Ohio State on February 9th. Washington February 15th. Washington and Indiana on February 22nd. So the games that go on,
Sophia Bell and Mia Jacobs, guys.
And now let's join our women's basketball players for Oregon Ducks, and their names are Sophia Bell and Mia Jacobs.
In 2 years. Here's my question. What?
Let's listen in to what they have to say.
It was like a combination of a couple things. I was able to come in with some credit from high school from like APs, and then some dual enrollment classes. And then, yeah, once I got here, I just took an extra class here and there. And then last summer, took care of a lot of credits. So,
Holy cow.
yeah.
That's
Wow.
supremely impressive. I mean, are you giving her a hard time for that, being all smart and stuff?
Yeah, all of our team is like really on her about it, and we love it, and we always make fun. We don't make fun of her for it, but like we always make sure that her achievements are always
In case people couldn't tell, Mia comes from Australia, and more specifically from
Here
Fresno
we-
State. What made you want to come to the Oregon Ducks?
There's a few things, obviously the girls on the team and the style of
Yeah,
play,
what's
but I think the family aspect just
Yeah, that's-
makes everything better
Right.
too. So yeah, that was one of the biggest things.
I actually thought you came to Eugene because of the great beaches.
What's that nigga over there?
No, that's not the case.
Not quite the
All
same
right,
as
let's talk
Australia,
about your
but yeah,
photography then.
yeah.
And the
So we
times
have the
now is
Brainiac over here, and then we have
2:26
the
p.m.
creator. You're quite the photographer. I've had a chance to watch some of your look at some of your work. Where did this come from?
I think I've always had a little passion for it, but not the execution. So getting here, I was able to get in contact with a few people and finally be able to start and get going. And a lot about photography is just getting in it and experiencing. So yeah, that was one of the biggest things that I was able to do. So yeah, it's been great so far.
We're looking at some of the pictures that Mia has taken, often sports focused.
Yeah.
Very cool. You know, your coach was talking over there with Ashley and Elise about the pace. How do you two describe what the pace of the team's going to be this year?
Yeah, I mean, we're trying to play a fast style of basketball, get up and down the court, in as few seconds as we can. So that really has just started in practice and getting reps doing that. And yeah, pushing the pace, looking for early shots in transition, trying to create chaos on defense, and yeah, just getting up and running the floor.
Why is it important to have fast pace?
It's a lot of what we do. So a lot of us work better in transition. We're not as tall as we were last year, so being able to use that to our strengths, finding open people, and kind of just going from there.
You've had several people transfer into the program. Not anyone transfer out of the program. That's very rare, especially today. What is it about this program, this coaching staff, this place that's so special that compels everyone to stay?
Yeah, I mean, I think that really speaks to just like the family atmosphere that we have, both on and off the court. We had a good group of young talent last year that, probably didn't see the floor as much as they would have wished, but just being able to see like how they can make an impact moving forward, and like the coach is really investing in that. I think it's like speaks volumes, and it has like caused everyone to want to stay and keep playing for our staff. So.
One of the things I thought was so interesting, Shimmy, was last year when you looked at their roster, no one really played more than 20 minutes. No one really played less than 8 minutes. Like, everybody got in the game. What was it like last year being on a team where it wasn't like, oh, there's 7 of us that play, and then there's 5 that are kind of hanging out? Everybody was involved.
Yeah, I mean, every night, like, we never knew whose big night it was going to be, and I think that was super exciting for us. We had a lot of weapons and just different talent that could be utilized in different games. So, yeah, it was really exciting, and, yeah, I was glad to be a part of it.
Resurgence, so to speak, of the Ducks. Had a great run last year, went to the NCAA tournament for the first time in a few years, had that tough loss to Duke in the second round. How do you follow up this year?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're just looking to build off that success, and just, I think that starts in the Big Ten. We were able to experience a lot of really good talent and competition during our season, and I think that will set us up for success later in March.
You have a head coach who, as we just heard, is a good time. He's high energy. He's fun. Give me a story about Kelly that stands out to you, whether it's a practice you've been at, whether it's something in the recruiting process. What stands out about a story about Kelly?
Ooh, I mean, there's a lot. He's a really big jokester. He loves his dad jokes at the end of practice. Last year, he celebrated a 3 that Elisa Mevius made by like slamming his hand on the table. And then the next day in practice, he pranked us and pretended that he broke his hand and he had a fake x-ray and everything, and our trainer came in and we believed it for a second, and then we realized it was a joke. So
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
He's a good
Yeah, I
guy.
think that just comes across with the staff as well. Kelly brings in so many good people, and like we have such a good environment. Our practices are always so much fun, and they make me want to go to practice, make me want to be there, and it's great to be around that environment.
They make me want to go to practice, said no student athlete ever.
No, yeah,
True, though.
it's so much fun just to be around. Not like if we're having a bad day or we're having a iffy day, like the energy that the coaches bring to help us through these practices is so much more intense than anything I've ever been a part of.
Mia, Sophia, thanks for your time. Good luck this season.
Thank you.
thank you.
All right, that's
We'll
from
stay
the
out
Oregon
west
Ducks
when we
women's basketball
come
players.
back.
So
The
up
Washington
next,
Huskies are
once
next up for
again,
us here
we
on Big
will
Ten
have
Media
Washington
Days. They have
Huskies
a
women's
big
basketball head
three
coach
of
and with
star
their
talent, and two
and with
of them
their
are here.
their basketball
Maybe a
players will join the
sleeper team in
show
the Big Ten. You'll hear from the Huskies next.
right after these messages. Don't you go anywhere.
There are only a few